Hello everyone and welcome to Wilson Waffling Live, episode 49, recorded Sunday the 28th of June 2015. Teams, tweets and starts? Let's run the titles. Hello and welcome to Wilson Waffling Live, take two. If you are late here, then you will not realise what's happened, but if you were early, then you will. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. So, welcome to Wilson Waffling Live on this wonderful, this sounds as if I've said this already, this wonderful balmy Sunday evening with the sun outside is shining away, although I'm in a blacked out room so you can't actually see me, or you can't see the sun. Welcome along. If you're watching this live, then it's lovely to have you along, and if you just noticed that I've gone live either on Twitter or on Facebook, then please remember that you can join in the chat at any time by going along to wilsonwaffling.co.uk, and up at the top on the little black strip there is a button that says Wilson Waffling Live, and you can click there and you can gain access to the live stream as well as the chat room, and you can join the chat room by just using either your Ustream account or you can log in via Facebook. So I've tried to make it as easy as I possibly can for you. The other place that you can get me, of course, is that you can go along to my Twitter account, which is iWilsonYSJ, and you can get in touch with me throughout the show by just tweeting me on that at iWilsonYSJ, and it will pop up. If you are going to tweet me on there, then by all means make sure you add the hashtag of wilwafflive, and then I can make sure that I collect all the tweets ready for the next show. You can also, of course, follow me on Snapchat. I have a Snapchat account at Waffling Wilson, and of course you can also follow me on the other social media services such as Instagram, which we'll be talking about later. So welcome along. A bit of a mix up today. I think it's going to be a bit of a strange show. We're going to have the normal guess the drawing, so if you had a guess last week, then see whether or not you're right this week. We've also got the tweet of the week, and I've got some images to show you from the tweet. I've also got the Minecraft montage later on, and of course the educational bit. So lots to come in today's show. Also going to try something a little bit new today, and so we'll see how that goes. I'd also like at this point in time to remind you that next week is going to be the 50th episode of Wilson Waffling Live. So 50th episode, there's been 50 of these, and you can go back, and I don't know if you remember the first ever one, but if you go right the way back to the beginning, you'll see me telling elephant jokes for Ustream on Justin TV. That's when I started 50 episodes together. And next week I am hoping to get a very special lady on. Let's see if I can find her. Oh, something's not working here. Why is that not working? Something is not working very well at all here. Oh, very strange. Very strange indeed. I honestly don't know what's happening here. Let me do something fancy. Let's see if I can do something fancy. Oh, here we go. I've sorted it. Let's do that, because I'm going to try to get a very special lady on the show next week, because I'm going to try to get this young lady. Yes, sorry, I forgot the microphone click. I'm going to try to get this young lady to come along and participate on the show. This is my mom, and this is us on Friday night at Pizza Hut. I took her to Pizza Hut, and we had a fun time eating pizza. I had my brother with me as well, but I just wanted to focus on my mum. So hopefully we're going to get some chat with my mum on episode 50. She doesn't know this yet. She said she will come on, but she doesn't know that it's actually going to be the next show. So we will see. We will see how that goes. So so that's next week, and don't forget that if you do wish to follow me on Instagram and see all the pictures as they come up, then you can add me there. Again, I'm at iWilsonYSJ. So let's stay with pictures and let's look at the tweets of the week. Now, I know, I haven't done anything about this yet, and you're all going to be asking, have you done the tweet of the week, Ian? Have you done the tweet of the week? And the answer to this question is no, I haven't. I haven't got a sign or titles for anything, but I think what I'm going to be looking at is almost like a Twitter bird going along, almost like Pac-Man style, saying tweet of the week, tweet of the week, tweet of the week, or something similar to that. That's going to be my plan. So that is the plan, but until then you just have to imagine that this is the tweet of the week. So what interesting things have I found this week on the tweet of the week? So the first thing I would like to pull up is this that I found, which is called seals in party hats. Seals in party hats. Here we go. Have a look at that. How sweet is that? How sweet is that? Seals in party hat. And this was tweeted by or retweeted by Andrew Shin at SpinnerShark7, and it says, "Wear your party hat, possibly the best tag ever. Dalton C hats for animal tracking. And before you all get worried, they actually drop off at the first molt." So I just thought that looked absolutely fantastic. A whole load of seals in party hats. Now, of course, at this moment in time, if you are of a nervous disposition, then I would like you to, when I say so, to look away, because I'm going to show you something that I tweeted through the week that is quite horrific. It is most disturbing, okay, and most ugly. And if you are of a nervous disposition and you don't like blood, then now is the time to look away. Okay, so prepare yourself, decide what you're going to do, decide whether or not you're going to hang around or whether or not you're going to avert your eyes. Here we go. In avert eyes, you'll know when to look because I'll say you can look back. So keep the audio on, but don't look. So here we are. Here's another tweet of the week because this is me. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here it is. Look at that. Look at that. I woke up halfway through the week and my eye had exploded. Look. There's all blood and everything. It's more than a bloodshot eye. That's a blood-soaked eye almost. I was quite worried about this. And of course, whenever you're worried, the first thing you do is you consult the best place in the world to consult when anything is actually wrong. And so I Instagrammed it and I tweeted it straight away, going, "Oh no, I don't know what's happening. I'm all worried. Is my eye falling out or whatever?" And I was pleased to see that I had a very prompt response from a colleague that I work with called Richard Day, and who I'm now going to call Dr. Richard Day, as in he tweeted straight back, said, "Just a burst blood vessel, nothing to worry about. It'll clear in a day or two." And I was very grateful for that tweet. It put my mind at ease. The only thing that I didn't like about it was that it's from an Android phone, but we'll give him that. We'll let him have that. So far we've had, for the tweet of the week, we've had seals and we've had burst blood vessels, and of course we've had my mom. So there was one other tweet of the week that I wanted to share with you, and this was somebody who tweeted, I chat to a lot, but they tweeted something really nice that came up on my Twitter feed, so I thought I'm going to pop this in as well, just because they're a nice person. And here we are. This is Gregor who's saying, catching up with Wilson Waffling and playing on Minecraft server for the first time in an age. So hopefully, remember, if you're interested in Minecraft, you might want to hang around for the Minecraft montage later on. But up to that point, then I hope he's catching up with Wilson Waffling just at the same time as you are. So that was the tweet of the week. So if you would like to appear on the tweet of the week, then by all means send me something interesting, send me something exciting. Now, what I'm going to try to do now, as well as looking on Twitter, I also looked on Facebook, and I found some really interesting stuff on Facebook. And what I would like to do now is share with you a bit of a video. This is a bit of a video. A bit of a video that I saw on Facebook, and this is from the Huffington Post, and it's titled "Be My Friend, Be My Friend." So this is not my own work, but I thought it was really nice and I would like to share it with you. So without further ado, here is "Be My Friend."
You want to be friends, Sophie?
Where's the kitty cat? Oh, I love you.
Give her a kiss. Give her a kiss.
You like that?
So I hope you like that. I saw that on Facebook and I thought, what a lovely video that was, and it reminded me of a television program that I sort of like caught the back end of, that was on about cats and their owners. I don't know if anybody saw that, but there's some really vicious cats in the world, really vicious cats that was sort of like attacking things and attacking dogs and everything like that, and attacking people and scratches and everything like that. And I was quite amazed when I watched that video how, you know, even though the dogs are quite big, the cats are still willing to take them on, and it's really nice. I hope there was lots of R's at the end when you saw the last sort of like imagery of the cats and the dogs together hugging. And the reason I showed you it is that mainly because I liked it and I thought it came into the tweet of the week part, but also because it reminded me of almost like a television show when videos are queued up ready to run. And one of the things that I was watching, you obviously sometimes you might wonder what it's actually like at my end. So this is what it actually almost like looks like at my end. So this is what it feels like for me. So this is what it feels like for me. So I almost like feel that I've got this huge deck here ready to run. And I must admit, this is a job that I would love to have. This is from Matt Babb, which is on YouTube, and he is I think he's a news director or controller, and it's quite interesting what he's doing. So I mean, perhaps I should be more this rather than on the front of the camera, but I'm wondering whether or not I would get more views if you couldn't see my face so much. Maybe more views if you couldn't see my face, but this is the sort of thing that
2, 1,
I would love to do.
Coming up on Channel 3 News today, Brown star receiver Josh Gordon arrested. What this means for him and the team.
White, B's up.
But police say they have full confession.
This is a bit like me throughout Wilson Waffling Live.
Came on the day a well-loved business owner,
But I'm actually talking as well and presenting. Just a whole load of buttons and everything. It's quite a feat to get everything sort of like up and running and going together. But that's almost like what it's like at this end. I have a whole load of broadcasts, my keyboard and a Wirecast over there, busy putting the links together. So the next bit that I would like to sort of like go and talk, I'm just looking at my running order. I have my running order here, see, already. So we've had the tweet of the week, and I'd just like to remind you of the this is mine, what's yours. And remember that if you would like, last week I talked about summer. So I talked about the seasons and what my favourite season was, and my favourite season was autumn. And I said, this is mine, so what's yours? So remember, if you want to get in touch with me, either on Facebook or Twitter, or even in the chat, and tell me what your favourite season is. Mine's autumn. What's your favourite season? And if you remember, the season I dislike the most is summer. So this is not a happy time for me at the present moment. Not a happy time, but I'm bearing up and keeping going with it. So remember that if you've got a favourite season, then by all means, tweet me or let me know what your favourite season is. So let's now talk about that bit when we talk about the educational bit. So this is the time that if you would like to listen to what I've been talking about this week on wilsonwaffling.co.uk, then you can sit back, grab your cup of tea and have a listen. If you suddenly think, oh no, it's a boring bit, I'm going to head off and make myself a cup of tea and come back later, then that's absolutely fine. You can do that as well. Before we actually get into this, I would just like to, this only happened a few minutes ago, just before I came live. Some of you might know, if you connected with education at all, you might know Professor Sally Brown. Now, Professor Sally Brown, this is Professor Sally Brown, and she's really an important academic. Obviously, she's a professor who's really wrote sort of like and talks about assessment and learning and teaching in higher education. And she's sort of like up there with everybody else, with the top notch, really important people, and she does consultancy workshops and everything like that. And if lots of people would know who Professor Sally Brown is and value her work and everything. And just before I came online, I was really excited because out of nowhere, Professor Sally Brown started to follow me on Twitter. Yes, she started to follow me, Mr. Wilson Waffling. She actually started to follow me, and I got so excited, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to tweet her. to say thank you. And I don't know if you've ever tweeted me. You get a message that is set up that whenever you message me, you get whenever you start to follow me, you actually get a message back to you that says something like "Welcome on board. Hope." Well, actually, I'm not going to tell you what the message says. Go and follow me, and you'll be able to see what it says. Anyway, so I thought, right, okay then. So I need to reply to her and sort of like say how much I value her work, etc. So I decided to say I just wanted her to make sure that she was aware that I wasn't actually a professor or anything like that. So I think I sort of like mentioned, I sort of like said, I'm just starting off in higher education. I'm not sort of like high class or anything like that, and I'm not a professor or anything like that. Anyway, I typed this and typed it and then pressed my button, and then it was only when I looked back on it that I suddenly realised that instead of typing starting somewhere, I missed out the S. And so I actually tweeted to Professor Sally Brown, a high valued established academic, that I was tarting out. And I just thought, what? So not only do I have a web page called Wilson Waffling and talk about waffling, and not only had I already mentioned that I was not as high up in the academic framework, I then went and said that I was tarting on my career rather than starting on my career. I just thought, oh, it was a Homer Simpson moment. It was a Homer Simpson moment of duh. Anyway, I'm pleased to say I'm not too sure whether or not I recovered or not, because Sally Brown, Professor Sally Brown, should I say, replied to me on Twitter and said, we all have to tart somewhere. So I really don't know. If my academic prowess was not rock bottom, I think it probably is now. So let's go back. Let's get back onto the educational bit. Now I do have, a little riff for this, but I know it's really short. So here we go. It's only 8 seconds long. So here comes the educational bit. Oh, hang on. I'm going to do this so I can hear it. And I'm back. Yes, the educational bit. So welcome to the educational bit. And remember, you can go along to see my my webpage, wilsonwaffling.co.uk. I'm a bit worried because I don't have very many badges on this in any case. And I suddenly realised the other day that one of the badges is missing, look. And this was my top 100 UK blogs in 2014. So I don't know whether or not it's been removed, whether or not I'm no longer allowed to have it, so it's gone. Anyway, this is wilsonwaffling.co.uk, and you can see this is last week's show. And last week's show, which is all about books, blogs, books and bicycles. So by all means, if you haven't seen that, then nip along to the YouTube so you can see that, or watch it on the website. And this week's blog was called Team Bridges. Go team. Now, I must say to you at this point that I'm thinking about dropping the educational bit in the current form, because I was thinking the other day, what I should do is just talk briefly about what this is about, and then you can go and have a look at it. And I thought I might bring something else up that has a topic that is more opinionated, and something that I can form and tell you my views on. And I've been collecting sort of like websites and articles over the past few weeks, and I thought what I'll do is I'll add rather than in the educational bit, rather than just recapping on my blog post, what we'll do is I just actually talk about my views about something being stimulated from an article that I've read or something like that, and then that will become the new educational bit. I do notice that throughout the week, if you look at the analytics, on my website. It sort of like goes up on a Sunday and a Monday. Then it goes up again on a Tuesday and a Wednesday when Wilson Waffling Live is tweeted. And then it gradually tails off throughout the week. And I almost like need something else to be delivered halfway through the week. And on the Thursday, I think. And I was thinking, what I should do is almost do an opinionated blog post ready for the Thursday and then publish it on the Thursday to try to increase it. But then I thought if I do that, I won't have anything for the educational bit in Wilson Waffling Live. So I don't really know what I'm doing at the moment. So if you've got any ideas, any suggestions that you would like me to do, then drop me an email or drop me a tweet or Facebook message and let me know, and I'll think about it. But I think next week we might start with the opinions, because I'm not too sure that I think this is a valid part of the show as it currently stands. So this is the educational bit as it stands, and this week I've been talking about, I started off talking about building bridges. And the interesting thing is, last week I actually got email from, would you believe, the Dean of the Faculty of Arts. Yes, arts. Me, the most uncreative person in the world, got a message from the Faculty of Arts. So dance, drama, TV production, literature. Me. I did at one point think, oh no, Wilson Waffling radio station coming alive. But no, that wasn't the case. That didn't happen. But they did invite me to a session on team-based learning. Now, I've published this and I've had some very interesting talks about it on Twitter already from other academics. So it's really interesting to see how this all pans out. Now, you might remember a while back I did a blog about the flipped classroom, and it was called Flipping in 1 Year or Less, relating to the Horizon report. And the flipped classroom, if you're not too sure about it, is a philosophy of education, a way or approach to pedagogy, which actually says instead of in the actual session you spout forth information and content, you actually encourage the learners to engage with that before the actual session, and then as it comes to the actual session, you use that more for the discussion and the interaction and the analysis and the criticality. So that's the idea, that it's flipped in the sense that beforehand the sessions were used to sort of like to regurgitate knowledge and content, and then the discussion was done at homework and things like that. And the flipped classroom is alive and well both in higher education but also in secondary and further and primary education. So this idea of team-based learning sort of like takes that and takes this sort of like the essence of that and changes it somewhat. And what I wrote about here is not team-based learning as such, but more my concerns about it and my opinions about it. And the first thing that I would like to say is that if you would like to know more about team-based learning, then you need to go and read the proper information, the up-to-date information, the information that has been written by professionals on the net, on the internet. Don't read this blog post as a copy, because I'm just critiquing it. And one of the things that I always want to encourage is the learners to actually read the information before they come to session. So in a sense that they read it and then they come to discuss and to expand on the actual content. Now, the team-based learning approach does this in the sense that when learners come to the session, they are given a reading assurance test, a RAT, and this is done individually and in teams. And the other really interesting concept is that this is actually scored and actually goes towards the overall summative grade at the end of the module. Now, again, please remember that I'm just discussing this with you. I'm not an expert, so if you have any really major questions, then if you go to the webpage, there's a link there to the guy from Bradford University who actually did the talk for us. Now, I might be naive, you know, and my philosophy of education might be not tested as much as other people's, or it might be go against the paradigms that exist out there. But to me, I want learners to learn because they want to learn. I want them to engage in the activities or the prior reading because they want to, not because it's a chore, not because it's pointless, not because I say so. And to me, I definitely don't want them to engage with it because there's a test that's going to impact them out. I actually do worry that if there was a test, then I think you start to not engage with the readings as much, but you start to pick out certain elements of it that you think might be the answer. And it was interesting that when I actually read the information ready for this session, I had no idea what information, what questions they were going to ask. So I read it, but not in a great amount of depth. But I was quite surprised in the actual session how much I had internalized and how much of this came back to me. I guess what I took from it is that there has to be some kind of motivation in order to read it. And although like I say, I might be naive in thinking that learners just want to read it because they want to learn and they're interested. Maybe I need to sort of like start putting some kind of motivational factor in there, whether or not it be external or promote some kind of intrinsic. I don't think you can actually promote intrinsic motivation, but maybe do something extrinsic to sort of like support them. On a similar point, I've written in my blog post about the team formation, because in the team formation, this is really interesting, because in the teams they were set up, they're not set up in friendship groups, they're almost like mixed ability groupings, and they're kept in those groups from beginning of module to the end. And within those teams, they're actually responsible for the evaluation of their colleagues and the whole group as well. And I'm not a great believer, and people could disagree with me, and that's fine. My own personal view is that I'm not too keen on mixed ability groupings. I see the point of them, I understand the philosophy behind them and the ethos of learning, and in some situations I will use them and use them very effectively. That supports learning throughout. However, sometimes I feel that mixed ability groups is not beneficial for everyone, and sort of like some learners can hide in that group, some learners can dominate that group, and some can sort of like support the group and sort of like almost like let other learners hide and get carried by the group. And when I was in primary education, I had a title called, I mentioned it here, called Leading Teacher in Intervention, or Leading Teacher of Intervention. And my focus within that was especially with the AG&T children, the able, gifted and talented as we used to call them. And even in higher education now, I often wonder whether or not my teaching and my support structures actually encourages all learners to learn and gives the same sort of like support for everyone, rather than just sort of like focusing it at the lower end or at the middle. Do I actually challenge the high achievers, the people who are getting 80 plus in their assignments, and more importantly, do I need to, or are they sort of like naturally, intrinsically and independent learners that they don't need me to do that? So I think the idea of these teams is really interesting. And team-based learning, when you look at the actual statistics about the impact of it on learning, especially benefits the lower quartile of cohorts, which again I think is really interesting if you look at the overall group composition. So the other thing that I did talk about, and I must say I really like this idea, is that, and I wish I had a picture. I was going to show you a picture, but I'm not sure of the copyright of it. But one of the things that the guy showed us was classrooms that were specifically built for team-based learning. and I would call it as specifically built for learning in groups, because they had tier-shaped tables for people to sit around, which I thought was fantastic. And at the end, on the sort of like the pointy end of the tier, they had a computer and a monitor there and a microphone as well, so people throughout the room could actually communicate with other groups and discuss with other groups at that point, and they could interact, everything like that, which I thought was a really, really good idea. And I really liked the way the learning environment had been adapted to sort of like include a different way of learning and sort of like encourage that interaction, not only within teams but also between teams as well. Now, like I said, if you would like to go along and read some more information about team-based learning, then by all means go along to my blog and write what I've written. But please make sure that you go and read your own, the up-to-date or the more informed articles and web pages about team-based learning. I think there's actually a web page that's called teambasedlearning.org that you can actually go to. Just to sum up, for me, I think I really believe in social constructivism. I think that's a really important form of learning. I really like the idea of reading assurance or reading readiness. Have you read something in order to participate? I really like that idea, but I think I might go more with Socrative to sort of like gain some kind of feedback from it and to demonstrate engagement. I also do like the idea of the groups and the competitiveness, and that almost like leads to gamification ideas. So I think I'll probably take aspects of it, but at the present moment in time, I don't think it would be possible for me to implement the whole system. And to be honest with you, I don't know whether or not I like it all, and I think only time will tell on that. So that was the educational bit. So hopefully if you've come back from your meal, your cup of coffee or whatever, that you're back with us now. And so that was the educational bit that, like I said, might still exist, might go on to something else later. So before we go on to guess the drawing, we're going to go across to, again, if you sort of like having a point now that you think, oh, I've heard enough of Ian's voice, I want to nip away, or this might not be something that actually interests you, then we're actually going to go across to the Minecraft montage. Here we go. Hello and welcome to the Minecraft montage. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different, because I've actually, believe it or not, and I was going to play this to see whether or not you can tell, but I've actually pre-recorded this one. So in order to, I had a bit of a cough this morning and I was a bit worried that I wouldn't get right the way through the broadcast. So you might notice we had that bit of a video earlier on which allowed me to have a bit of a drink, and now I feel like I got a frog here, so I need a bit of a cough. So I thought what I'd do is pre-record some of the segments in today's show, and then I can play them still live, not live but pre-recorded for you. So without further ado, here we have the wonderful Minecraft montage. Hello and welcome to the Minecraft montage. I'm your host, Waffling Wilson, here stood on top of my roof. Hope you enjoy it. Let's have a quick look around to see what is happening. Let's see if I can fly. I think I've just disabled it. Here we go. Let's put it through to a perspective that we can actually see. Today's music is August by Approaching Nirvana. Hope you enjoy it. Remember, if you'd like to join the server, then you can actually, the link's up at the top. You can go along to http://wilsonwaffling.engine.com and fill in the application. So you can see here
This is Hedge of Hogs building. He's the most prolific builder on the server. I think it might be York Minster, but I'm not too sure. And I'm still wondering how long it took him to make all these torches. There's absolutely millions of them. So you might be thinking at the present moment in time, why would I want to join a Minecraft server? Well, to start off with, you might just be interested to see how the game works. Or you might have an urge to build something. It might be something big like the cathedral there, or this, which is Ollie's eco house, or something that's quite dramatic like this one, which is Gregor 25's castle, with a whole load of underground. And remember, a lot of the, I don't know whether or not I can actually get there, but we'll have a look. A lot of building is, there's a lot on the top, but there's also a lot underneath as well. So don't be fooled in thinking it's only on the top that things happen, because there's also things underneath as well. Let's see if I can get, oh look, enchanting houses, nether portals, some weird sounds. So there's plenty underneath as well, and a donkey as well as on top. So by all means, go along to the web page. You can see the link up there at the top, and apply to join the server. It's a whitelisted server, so only certain people can join. So there's people who are on the server. Some of us have a lot of experience, some of us not very much at all, but if you'd like to come along and join us, then please do so. You're more than welcome. And we have some collaborative work that we do. You might want to build a house, you might want to build a network system, or your own little accommodation. It's completely up to you. So fill in the application, download the game, find yourself a Minecraft profile name, and come along and join us. Have fun. Catch you all later. Bye.
There you go. So that was the Minecraft montage. I hope you enjoyed that little interlude. So, welcome back. What we're going to do now is that we're going to go straight across to the now infamous and famous Guess the Drawing. So if you participated with this last week, then you might be familiar with this game. So what happens is that last week I picked a book and title of a book, and I drew the title of the book, and you had to guess what that title was. Now, to start off with, let's see some of the guesses that we had. So the first guess here from Rose Ashby here, what she thought the book was Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. Now this was an interesting choice because this was also guessed by Ryan from Facebook. He also guessed this as well. Now just so you can see, this was the actual picture. This was the picture that I drew. This is what it actually looked like. And I don't know if you remember, but we have a really popular DJ who actually watches Wilson Waffling Live, and she's broadcast on Minster FM at 6:30 in the morning, called Gail Lofthouse, and she also participated in the guess this week's drawing as usual, and she actually guessed it correctly. And so for all you people who were asking or had a guess, whether or not it was through the poll or tweeting me on Twitter, the name of the book was not Jurassic Park, I'm afraid. It was A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. That's what it was. Can you see? A Tale of Two Cities. Here's the two. Can you see the two cities? Can you see the two cities? And then the tail in the middle. I'm moving my cursor across it, but of course you can't actually see my cursor. I'll probably do that. You can't even see it on that one either. It doesn't capture the cursor. So that it was A Tale of Two Cities. So if you got that, well done, well done. Now we're going to have a look at the new one, and the new picture this week, the new Guess the Drawing this week. I've got it all ready to start. This is a popular TV show. A popular TV show. So it's not a film, it's not a book, it's a popular TV show. So we're going to go straight across. Here we go to my drawing skills. This is probably why I was invited to the Faculty of Arts. Here we go. Here is the, I'll make the iPad full screen in a second, and then you can see it. And we're going to do, this is a popular TV show. So here we go. So here we are. So popular TV show. Now I have to tell you that this is 2 words. 2 words. So I'm going to start on the left here. And this is a really bad pen. Let me just boost the thickness. This is better. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to try not to say anything. Okay, that's the first bit. That's the first word. That's the first word. And here's the second word. I'm going to draw 2 things. Bear with me. Remember, I'm not a very good drawer. And then up here, I just need to get rid of a bit of this. Up here, we're going to have in green. This is not a very good drawing, as usual. I need to change her face. Hang on, I need to change her face because she's far too happy, and she shouldn't be happy. She should be cross. Okay then, so that is the popular TV show. That's the popular TV show. So that's what you have to guess. What do you think that show is? It's 2 words. It's 2 words, and it's a popular TV show. What do you think it might be? So remember, as always, you can either tweet me the answer, and so you can tweet me directly to at iWilsonYSJ, or remember that if you're watching this on the actual YouTube, then down below in the comments below there's a link to a poll that you can actually click on it. And also, if you're watching this direct from wilsonwaffling.co.uk, there is also there a link that will take you to the poll so you can do your guess. So either tweet me or add it to the poll. If you are adding it to the poll, then don't forget that it's a good idea to put your name or what you want to be known by, and then the answer to guess your drawing. So that's what it is. Okay, so have a guess. Don't forget to tweet me if it's a famous TV show. A famous TV show. Okay, so with that done, we are sadly, and I know it's sad, we're sadly coming to the end of Wilson Waffling Live for this week yet again. episode 49 is coming to an end, and hopefully I've started to sort of like change it around a bit. Next ideas for episode 50, we're going to have an online game. We're going to have an online game, so I'll be tweeting throughout the week how to get ready for that. So if you are going to come along to that, then please try to watch out for the tweets so you can get organised. Of course, we're also hopefully going to get my mom on the show as well, and we're going to see whether or not we can have a chat with her as well, so that should be fun. Hopefully the bandwidth will bear up for that. We're probably going to change a bit in future show with the educational bit and change that around. So, but if you have any other ideas that you would like to contribute, then that's fine. Or if you yourself would like to have a little bit in Wilson Waffling Live, promote your channel or promote anything to do with education or your own personal website or anything like that, then by all means either drop me an email or send me a link to a YouTube video and I will play it either at the beginning or the end. One thing I would really love to do, and if you watch a whole lot of popular YouTubers, they often have little people saying little captions to the day, a little video, and I love people to sort of like video themselves saying, "I watch Wilson Waffling Live," or "I've waffled with Wilson Waffling Live," or something like that. I think that would be fantastic. I'll work on that. I'll see whether or not we can get some. Perhaps I can get Professor Sally Brown to say it. Perhaps I can get Professor Sally Brown to actually say, "I've waffled with Wilson." Hashtag Wilson Waffling Live. That would be fantastic. If you are a student, because, you know, I don't know if I was looking at some of the tweets for the articles this week, and it was talking about getting jobs over summer or topping up your tan. I thought I might talk about that last week. But, you know, if you got a moment, then why not do me a little video clip and send it to me at iwilsonysj@gmail.com and sort of like say something to me, or say, I waffled with Wilson. Hashtag wilwafflive. And then I could put them in. That would be fantastic. So, apart from that, if you have been joining the show with me today, thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming along and tweeting throughout. Remember, by all means, spread the word so we can get more and more people involved. If you're watching, excuse me, I did a burp then. If you're watching this on YouTube at the present moment in time, then thank you very much for watching it on YouTube, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe to the channel to get the updates as they come out. As always, thank you so much for being part of the show and being engaging. I'm off to play some games and stream on Twitch TV now, on my other life, so to speak. So by all means, if you'd like to follow me on there, then that's absolutely fine. Thank you very much for watching. As always, it's been fantastic interacting and chatting with you, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Until then, I would like to say have fun, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.
Wilson Waffling.